Okay guys, here's a video, one of many, I think, that are going to show you how to use Microsoft Excel to do single variable stats. First things first, I want to talk about three different types of variables. We have three examples of answers from your survey assignment that you had. This is from an old set of class data that I had back, I think in like 2013 or 2012. Anyway, this favorite TV show, okay, which is one of the multiple choice questions. Number of people, I think, probably living in your household. I can't remember what question this is. And then, of course, heights of individuals. Favorite TV show is an example of something called categorical data. And as a result, it talks about something that's qualitative. Remember from your science class, you had qualitative and quantitative physical properties. Well, this is a qualitative measurement. And as such, really, How I Met Your Mother and Family Guy don't have any sort of particular value relative to one another. They're of equal value, and as a result, they're kind of non-numeric, and there's really not a lot to go along with them, other than, of course, the actual descriptions. So usually we don't have many stats for these, and we certainly don't do measures of central tendency and things like that. So as a result, we can do some things, and we'll learn how to use frequency calculations and how to do frequency bar graphs and diagrams and relative frequency as well. Using that, and then we'll move on to another type of data, which is called discrete data. Discrete data is a type of data where you have specific values within a data range, but not all values are possible, like the number of people who live in your household. You could have 5, you could have 4, you could have 3. You can't have 5.5, you can't have 4.2 or 1.1 people living in your household. You could even have discrete data that's, for example, like shoe sizes. And shoe sizes can be halves, but they can't be anything between a half and a whole. So you can have size 9, size 9.5, size 10, size 10.5, size 11, size 11.5, but nothing in between those numbers. And so as a result, still is something called discrete data, or discontinuous data, if you want to call it that, if you're an advanced function person. The last type of data that we're going to be talking about and using are heights. In this case, heights are examples of something called continuous data. That means that all data values are possible within a data range of the tallest person to the shortest person on the surface of the earth. You can be 179 centimeters, you can be 179.1 or 156.057, but all values are possible. You don't have to look at the numbers, you look at the nature of the measurement, and that's what tells you what's what. Okay, so these are three examples of different types of data. Now, what we're going to do with these data sets, specifically the favorite TV show categorical data, I'm going to show you how to use the computer to take a data set and to count or do the frequency of these various answers that are here. So I'm going to pull out a little bit. Hopefully you can still see it on your computer screen with your younger eyes. Okay, I have 20 data points here. It goes from cell B2, okay, the very first one, is that person liked How I Met Your Mother, all the way down to B21. See, it's a 21 here, and then it's column B. Okay, and that's the location for that particular cell. And of course, there's 20 values from number 2 all the way down to the 21. So we're going to be counting frequencies of all of these different occurrences, whether it's How I Met Your Mother, Family Guy, Modern Family, Big Bang Theory, that sort of thing. And we're going to see all those values. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is a frequency for How I Met Your Mother. We're going to slide all the way over to here. Okay, and that's where I've just created this table. I just typed it in. Okay, so these values, see, all along here, just typed in, just to show, I don't know, a nice, beautiful representation of a table. Either way, How I Met Your Mother is the first calculation we're going to do. And so in order to do the frequency for How I Met Your Mother, you use something called a function. Okay, if you look over here, and I can't make it any bigger because this top bar area here doesn't get any bigger, so I can't magnify in it, but it's this little FX button. It's called a function button. And hopefully you'll notice quite quickly that when I press that button, left click, boom, then this menu pops up. And when this menu pops up here, I can actually pick different functions. I can even search for them. So if I want to search for a function like a mean or something, then I can type in mean, and we'll see what things Excel can do for us. Okay, in this case, we want to be able to count, but we want to be able to count a specific value. So it's called COUNTIF is the function. And then I go ahead and press enter and I search, okay? And what comes up is COUNTIF or COUNTIF-S. We're going to use COUNTIF-S later. So COUNTIF, we pick that function in this particular cell where we want to put the actual calculation for the frequency. And then you press insert function. And what that's going to do is it's going to kind of create a small little menu where you're doing some sub-calculations. Okay, so for range in the COUNTIF function all the way over here on the right-hand side, for range, that's going to be the data that you have. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way over, watch my cursor, I'm going to go all the way over to the left to my data set. And I'm going to highlight that data set. And notice how it puts B2 to B21 in a little light blue character over here. Okay, that means it's going to take all the values from B2 to B21 and anything in between, and it's going to count those to see how many How I Met Your Mothers it has. Now, how does it know it wants to look for How I Met Your Mother? I type in the criteria, HIMYM, and it's going to look for that particular value in that group range. Okay, then I press done, and boop, it gives the number 3. If you go look over at this data set, I've got How I Met Your Mother here, 1, 2, and 3. So it's correct. Now, you may say to yourself, yeah, I could have just calculated that by myself. I'm not an idiot. Okay? But the whole point is that if you had 200 or 2,000 values, you could still do this. Okay? And that's the real power of this software. Okay? So I'm going to go on to do the exact same thing for Family Guy, just so we can get used to the whole process. Okay? So again, I go here. I'll close this, just pretending like we haven't done it before. So I'll go to Family Guy, and I want to count the number of Family Guys in that data set. So I go all the way over to FX. This menu pops up. If I don't remember, I type in count if. And the nice thing is that it actually has most recently used, and it's got count if in there. So usually you won't even have to type it in if you're doing it over and over again. So I just click on count if, and I go insert. Then I go to my same data set. Now I'm going to show you a little shortcut. It's a very easy shortcut to do. It's not crazy, but so you don't have to slide all the way over and highlight your data set. Remember, having 20, it's not that big of a deal for me to go from left to right. But if I had 100 or 200, it would take a long time to do. Okay, so what I am going to do for this is I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to highlight this. And I'm just going to right click, and I'm going to copy it. Okay? And then that way it's got it at the computer. I can paste it whenever I want to do another calculation. Now remember, my criteria here is different because it's for Family Guy. So I go ahead, Family Guy. Okay, and I press done. Boop, and there it is, 5. Okay, and if you count, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Family Guys. So I know I did it right. So we continue with the process. This time I'm going to go a little quicker. Okay. I'm going to go FX. I'm going to take my COUNTIF function, which I already have there. I'm going to insert it. I'm going to go, and I'm not going to go, I could go and highlight this if I want to. Okay, but I'm just going to go ahead and right click and paste. And it's going to paste in my B2 to B21. You can even type that in if you wanted to. Click in there, type it in if you're okay with it. Just don't forget the semicolon between the two of them. And then for the criteria here, I'm looking for Big Bang Theory, BBT. Okay, I press done. Boom, and then it counts 5 of them. And so on, and I'm going to do it quicker now. Count if, again, insert function, paste in that data range, and then I'm going to go Modern Family, done. And there's faster ways to do this, but I'm just going to start simple with you guys. And then last but not least, Seinfeld, so I'm going to go count if, insert the function, again, paste in my data range B2 to B21. My criteria is going to be, you got to spell it right, Seinfeld, and there it is, done. Now, the Surefire Test is actually another function that we're going to do. Let me get rid of this so you can see it better. Okay, I'm over in this area here. Let me slide over here. Okay, and this is the table I'm focusing on. If I add all these up, they should add up to 20 because I had 20 data values. Okay, and so I go ahead and I do sum function. That's another function you can do. So you go to FX, whoop. Okay, the menu pops up here. Either type in sum, but it's the most commonly used of almost all of them. So there it is, but it's probably already there already. And you go sum, and then what you want to do is you say, I want it to sum up from this number all the way to this number. So you highlight your data range you want it to sum. Okay, and then you press done. And it gives you 19. You're like, whoa, 19, wait a minute. We're supposed to have 20. But if you look over to our data set, there's actually one value. Let me scroll out. There is 20. Okay, it goes from 2 to 21, but we do have this one unanswered. That culprit right there is the reason why we have 19. Because if I counted all the different criteria, all those 5 shows, unanswered is not going to pop up because I didn't look for unanswered. Okay, so hopefully that's okay for you. All right, as far as how to do frequencies. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video here. So that's just how to calculate frequencies of categorical data, and then we'll get a little fancier. We'll do relative frequency by inputting our own formula, and we'll also do a couple of graphs, bar graphs with that. So wait for video series 2. Thanks, bye.